Happy Friday morning, Boilers. Today is November 17th, and I'm Bella Warren.
And I'm Keenan Taylor. Thank you for joining us. Here's a look at this week's top stories. The looming threat of a government shutdown has been in the air for some time now, but a bill has begun the steps towards preventing one.
What is left to do before this bill goes into effect? CNN's Amy Kiley has the story.
With that vote last night, a plan to avert a government shutdown has approval from the House. Now it's up to the Senate to decide on the continuing resolution.
I intend to support it.
That chamber's GOP leadership is backing the plan from the Republican House Speaker. And Democrats are actually the ones who got it through the House.
It's nice to see us working together.
Bipartisanship shouldn't be controversial.
But to some people, it is. After all, a bipartisan bill to avoid a shutdown is what cost Congressman Kevin McCarthy the gavel. So will Speaker Mike Johnson suffer the same fate?
I don't blame Mike for what's going on right now.
It looks like he won't. In fact, this Republican who voted to oust McCarthy still seems to blame him.
I think that Mike has inherited a mess, and he is doing his best to work through that mess.
Another sign of continued tension between McCarthy and hardliners who removed him is this NPR audio from the Capitol yesterday.
Why'd you elbow me in the back, Kevin?
Has he done that before?
No.
Huh. That's a new move.
You got no guts.
Meanwhile, a White House official says if the Senate passes the spending bill, President Joe Biden will sign it. I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
President Biden has signed a temporary spending bill last night, preventing the potential shutdown.
If you're watching your spending, it might be time to skip the drive-thru and head straight to the supermarket. In the 12 months through October, higher restaurant prices drove food prices above overall inflation, but grocery prices were relatively low. The U.S. government says for the year, grocery prices rose 2.1%, but menu prices were up nearly 5.5%. That was driven largely by a more than 6% rise at limited service restaurants, which include fast food and fast casual spots. At full service restaurants, prices were up 4.3% for the year. Some grocery items did notch higher increases, particularly in the meat aisle. But many items got cheaper. For example, eggs. Once the poster child for massive price increases, were down more than 22% for the year as U.S. supplies increased.
Thanksgiving is fast approaching, and with it, will we need to bring out our winter coats? Fast Track meteorologist Julia Prickett is here in the studio to answer that question. Hey, Julia.
Hey, Bella. Here on West Lafayette's campus, here on Purdue, we're seeing a little bit of drizzle throughout the day today. So as you're commuting to classes or even coming home from work, you may see a few drizzles throughout your day today. For a high of 58 degrees and a low of 27, wind speeds anywhere from the west to northwest coming from 8 to 15 miles per hour with chances of rain about 30 throughout the day today. So taking a look at our hourly, we're sitting at about 55 degrees for 10 o'clock. We'll decrease in temperatures throughout the day as we increase in some cloud coverage, 50 degrees by 3 p.m. By 6, we'll be down to the mid-40s, and then by 9, we'll be at 39 degrees with a sustained wind coming from the west-northwest anywhere from 8 to 15 miles per hour. And into our overnight hours, we'll get down to the mid-30s overall, but coming up in my full forecast, I'll break down the game day forecast coming up as the Purdue Boilermakers take on Northwestern up in Illinois, and then I'll also break down your Thanksgiving forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Back to Bella and Keenan at the anchor desk.
Thanks, Julia. If you're planning to leave home Thanksgiving weekend, brace yourselves. AAA's Thanksgiving travel forecast is out.
It predicts one of the busiest holiday periods on record. That's on top of complications like a possible government shutdown. CNN's Amy Kiley reports on what to expect.
A AAA forecast out today predicts this Thanksgiving will be the third busiest on record for travelers. It estimates over 55 million people will venture 50 or more miles from home, and travelers could face more headaches than just congestion. Los Angeles is scrambling to reopen this critical section of I-10 after a devastating fire over the weekend.
This is an emergency. This is not going to be resolved in 1 or 2 days.
A possible government shutdown this coming weekend would have a broader impact. The White House is warning airline passengers could face long wait times and delays.
November 2.
The U.S. already has a shortage of air traffic controllers. A shutdown could make that worse.
That would force the FAA to suspend hiring, close its training academy, delay the pipeline of new controllers, delay modernization.
TSA employees would have to work without paychecks.
From what I hear, we're looking to surpass some records here in Atlanta over this travel holiday season. So to be in a government shutdown during that time is not going to be good.
Workers at Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Airport say they're especially concerned.
Atlanta is the busiest airport in the world. So, a slowdown here slows down everything else, and we just do not want that happening.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
If you're hitting the road and leaving campus next week, the average price for a gallon of regular unleaded gasoline will cost you about $3.40. That's according to GasBuddy.com.
That's up from a month ago, but still cheaper than last year when the national average was over $4. A congressman says he will introduce a House bill this week to call for a national ban on water beads. The tiny beads are often sold as a toy to children, but New Jersey Democrat Frank Pallone Jr. says they are dangerous to them and packages don't have warnings. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says if swallowed, the beads can possibly cause life-threatening injuries since they can grow inside of the body. A pediatric gastroenterologist who spoke at the congressman's Monday news conference says that water beads have been responsible for 4,500 emergency room visits nationwide since 2017.
YouTube will soon require disclosures on videos that contain content generated by artificial intelligence because it could mislead viewers. The Google-owned platform already has a similar policy, but the new update announced Tuesday will now require creators to add labels when they upload content that includes manipulated or synthetic content that is realistic, including using AI tools. The policy is meant to help preventing users from being confused by synthetic content and an increase in AI tools that make it quick and easy to create compelling text, images, and video that can often be hard to distinguish from the real thing. Digital information integrity experts have expressed concern that the growth of generative AI tools could lead to a boom in convincing but misleading content being shared on social media and across the internet. The technology could also pose a threat ahead of elections in the United States and elsewhere in 2024.
Up next, former President Donald Trump's social media platform, Truth Social, may not be around for much longer.
The complications the platform is currently facing coming up right after this quick break.
Being involved in the 3-year program at Purdue made it easier to say to myself I could get done in 3 years. The 3-year program helped save me a ton of money. Not completing my 4th year, I would save around $30,000. It will give you an advantage, if anything. Doing the 3-year program at Purdue has shown me that I have motivation to do whatever it takes to get my degree.
Hi there, my name is Vikram Jaithlak and I'm the founder and president of the Purdue chapter of the University Blood Initiative. Over the past 2 years, we've been able to collect over 300 pints of blood to be donated to local hospitals, and you can be the next one to help out.
I donate my blood at the University Blood Initiative.
Hi, I just donated blood through the University Blood Initiative.
Hi, I just donated blood through the University Blood Initiative at Purdue.
Right, I donated my blood through the University Blood Initiative at Purdue.
And I donated my blood at University Blood Initiative at Purdue.
Are you looking for a new hobby?
Or you want to have a fun evening with your friends?
Then come climb to new heights at the Co-Rec Climbing Wall.
Football. It's the best time of the year. You know what else is great? The world's largest and fastest mascot. You can't have Purdue football without the trains. Look for the Reamer Club outside Stewart Center, 12 to 5 p.m. on Fridays before home football games, for your chance to ride the Boilermaker Special for free. See you then!
You're watching Fast Track News.
Welcome back. I'm meteorologist Julia Prickett, and here on Purdue's campus today, we're seeing a high of 58 degrees with a low of 27. Winds anywhere coming from the west-northwest from 8 to 15 miles per hour, with chances of rain about 30% today. So as you're commuting into classes today, you may see a little bit of a drizzle. Currently 10 o'clock, 55 degrees. Will decrease in temperatures as we increase in cloud coverage. By noon, 52 degrees. A nice sustained wind coming from the west-northwest anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts up to 20. By 3, we'll be down to 50. And then by our dinner time hours and as you're commuting home from work, we'll be into the mid-40s. And then by the early late night hours tonight and into the overnight hours as well, we'll be back down to the 30s. Now for tomorrow, the Purdue Boilermakers take on the Northwestern Wildcats up in Illinois. So for your game day forecast waking up tomorrow, a high of 33 degrees, certainly a chilly start for the day. We will increase in temperatures though, thankfully, and dry out for the most part all day tomorrow with a lot of sunshine as well. By kickoff, we'll be at 50 degrees with kickoff set for noon up at Ryan Field, and then we'll stay pretty sunny skies overall, 52 by 3 p.m. as the game's starting to wrap up, and into our overnight hours as we increase in some cloud coverage, we'll decrease in some temperatures and be in the mid-40s for our overnight hours in Illinois. Now back here in West Lafayette, again to recap for Friday, a high of 55 degrees with lows in the 20s. Now for Saturday, a nice day overall here on Purdue's campus, a high of 50 degrees for our game day and a low of 31, and then by Sunday, another consistent day overall with mostly sunny skies, a high of 55 degrees with a low of 37. So taking a look at our national forecast for the next 7 days, we could see some rain chances come into the early next week, and that is because we have this high pressure system starting to move through the United States currently. We'll get some nice rain showers for Monday and Tuesday of next week, and then our next best chance of snow we thought was going to come Thanksgiving, but it may be a little bit after that as well as we see another high pressure system start to push through the United States. So taking a look again to take a look at our 7-day outlook one more time, high of 58 degrees for today to recap. Saturday and Sunday, pretty nice days overall, pretty consistent, 50 degrees being our high for Saturday, and Sunday a high of 55 degrees with mostly sunny skies. Monday and Tuesday, our best chance of showers come in as we see a high pressure system start to move through, high of 54 degrees for Monday with lows in the upper 30s, and by Tuesday we'll be at 51 degrees with a low of 44. By Wednesday and Thursday next week, we'll see a significant decrease in temperatures, being a high of 37 for Wednesday with a low of 28, and by Thursday being Thanksgiving, we'll see a high of 37 with a low of 20 degrees. So we'll see a significant decrease in temperatures as we see these systems really start to push through the Midwest overall, and we thought our best chance of snow was going to come Thanksgiving, but I think that may push back just a little bit later at the end of next week. Now I'll hand it back over to Keenan and Bella back at the anchor desk.
It's the main ingredient in popular over-the-counter cold and allergy medications. But an advisory committee to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration recently said that phenylephrine is the form of a pill, may not actually do anything to ease nasal congestion.
In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more with an allergist on ways to help a stuffy nose this respiratory virus season.
If you're sneezing, have a stuffy or runny nose, you may have a cold or allergies. Antibiotics won't help.
Typically, it just takes time. So 10 to 14 days later, you should continue to see improvement. And by then, hopefully all of those symptoms go away.
While phenylephrine, an ingredient in many popular over-the-counter cold and allergy medications, has been deemed ineffective in easing nasal congestion in tablet form by FDA advisors, there are other ways to unclog a nose, says Dr. Sandra Hong with Cleveland Clinic.
Things like saline rinses can be very helpful. You may have heard of neti pots, and that's where you actually use either boiled water that's been cooled or distilled water, and it typically has salt and baking soda in it to flush out the sinuses and the nasal passages.
Hong says over-the-counter topical decongestants can also help temporarily, but says not to use them longer than 3 to 5 days. They can make nasal congestion worse. She says nasal steroid and antihistamine sprays can also help, and there are still oral decongestants.
Things like pseudoephedrine over the counter. The thing about these are that you do need to go and speak with your pharmacist to sign for those.
Hong says while those medications are safe, they can have an impact on things like blood pressure, so be aware. And she says if symptoms don't improve over time, reach out to your doctor. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
If your stuffy nose is the result of allergies, Dr. Hong says an allergy shot or even immunotherapy can help.
Former President Trump's social media venture may not last much longer. According to corporate filings, Truth Social is burning cash and piling up losses so rapidly, accountants warn it might not survive unless it soon completes a long-delayed merger with Digital World. SEC filings released Monday show Trump Media and Technology Group has lost $31.6 million since the company launched in early 2021. Truth Social began in early 2022 when Trump was banned from what was then Twitter for breaking the platform's rules on promoting violence during the January 6th riot. Truth Social has struggled to gain popularity.
There are some pre-holiday signs of a weakening labor market. Usually, businesses this time of year start hiring extra workers to stock shelves and help with orders and deliveries. But this year, the job services firm Challenger Gray and Christmas says the number of seasonal positions publicly advertised this fall fell to the lowest level in a decade. The Wall Street Journal also reports that the National Retail Federation's seasonal worker hires are down as much as 40% from 2021. The shift could be because economists are projecting a pullback on holiday shopping for the rest of the year after a summer of big spending. That and retailers have generally caught up on pandemic staffing shortages.
Jim Harbaugh is stealing signs, Patrick Mahomes does not change his underwear, and Megan Rapinoe has announced her retirement.
Also, Purdue men's basketball is climbing the AP polls after their win against Xavier Monday. Don't go away. Sports is next, right after this quick timeout.
The Center for C-SPAN, which is this organization, the CCSC, what we do is we facilitate like a bunch of organizations, different programs for Brian Lamb, which is the founder of C-SPAN. Anyone can be part of CCSC, whether it be through our various internships, our competitions, just to be involved, even like our student community meetings that we have every week. Anyone can go, you don't have to be communications or poli-sci. You just meet so many people, the connections you make is kind of crazy, the range that CCSC has. So yeah, it's just provided me so many opportunities to like kind of achieve the goals I have personally and forward to like whatever career paths I choose.
Imagine a world where Olympics and Paralympics are unified as one, and where all athletes at all levels have equal opportunities to play and perform at their full potential.
Athletics has been such an influential and transformative aspect of my life. So to me, RISE is about ensuring that every person that has the desire to participate in sport has the opportunity to do so.
This organization is about recognition. We believe in recognizing excellence where it is found, especially in Paralympic sports.
RISE is about driving change in our community and beyond. We hope that through our events and initiatives, we can galvanize people for our cause and inspire them to create an ever-growing network to help achieve our mission.
It's about connecting people of various backgrounds and who truly care about creating meaningful change together.
We develop projects and hold events to bring people together at the interface of inclusivity, sports, and engineering.
Our goal is to promote the equality of all sports and to improve sports performance and accessibility.
Join us so that you can have a major contribution in creating meaningful change.
Welcome back, Boilermakers. I'm John Waterworth. Let's jump right into sports. Michigan head football coach Jim Harbaugh has been suspended until the end of 2023 college football regular season. Michigan has been accused of stealing signs from their opponents. The specific rule they are accused of breaking is the in-person advanced scouting of opponents. The allegations against Michigan center on a former low-level staffer, Connor Stallions, purchasing tickets to the games of future opponents and sending people to those games to record video of the team's signals. The Big Ten called it an organized, extensive, years-long in-person advanced scouting scheme. This is Harbaugh's second suspension of the year, as he missed the first 3 games of the season due to recruiting violations. Despite the chaos, Michigan has remained dominant. The Wolverines are currently 10-0. Last week, they beat number 10 Penn State 24-15. The Wolverines have 2 games left. The first is against Maryland, and the second is their much-anticipated matchup against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Megan Rapinoe, the 2-time Women's Football World Cup champion, has announced her retirement from the sport. The 38-year-old star of the U.S. Women's National Team and OL Reign will retire at the end of the 2023 National Women's Soccer League season. Rapinoe suffered a season-ending injury as well to her right leg early in the championship match against Gotham FC, making it the last match of her career. The injury forced her to hobble off the field, ending her career on a sour note, and she said that this ill-timed injury is, quote, proof that there is no God. Rapinoe was integral in women's soccer fight for equal pay and working conditions, and her demand for respect has carried over to players across the globe. She has also stood by numerous athletes during numerous different topic discussions. Though her soccer career is over, I'm sure we will be seeing more of her at the helm of something new soon. 2-time Super Bowl MVP and Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes has revealed that he wears the same pair of red underwear for every game since reaching the NFL. He also admitted that he only washes them after a loss. The underwear was gifted to him by his high school sweetheart and now wife, Brittany Mahomes. The pair of red underwear is from Lululemon and costs around $38. It's unclear how long Mahomes has been wearing the same pair of underwear, but it is known that he has won 2 Super Bowls wearing them. His teammate, Chad Henne, revealed that Mahomes has to have the same pair of underwear every game day. While Mahomes' superstitions may seem unusual to some, they're not uncommon among athletes. Many athletes have their own rituals and superstitions that they believe help them perform better. Mahomes' superstition undies may be strange, but his success on the field is undeniable. Though Purdue hasn't had a very strong football season, the Boilermakers did defeat Minnesota last week on the home turf, 49-30. The team has just 2 games left in the season, with their final taking place here at home over Thanksgiving against IU. In basketball news, the men's team has begun their expected ascent in the season, raising the AP's second-ranked team on their weekly list. Purdue has won every game this season so far, with numerous players showing out in every game. How would you feel about The Rock being our president? Fast Tracks Anna Kudo has that and more from the Hollywood Minute. coming up after this quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Being involved in the 3-year program at Purdue made it easier to say to myself I could get done in 3 years. The 3-year program helped save me a ton of money. Not completing my 4th year, I would save around $30,000. It will give you an advantage, if anything. Doing the 3-year program at Purdue has shown me that I have motivation to do whatever it takes to get my degree.
Hi there, my name is Vikram Jaithlak, and I'm the founder and president of the Purdue chapter of the University Blood Initiative. Over the past 2 years, we've been able to collect over 300 pints of blood to be donated to local hospitals, and you can be the next one to help out.
I donate my blood at the University Blood Initiative.
Hi, I just donated blood through the University Blood Initiative.
Hi, I just donated blood through the University Blood Initiative at Purdue.
Right, I donated my blood through the University Blood Initiative at Purdue.
And I donated my blood at University Blood Initiative at Purdue.
Are you looking for a new hobby?
Or you want to have a fun evening with your friends?
Then come climb to new heights at the Co-Rec climbing wall.
Coming up at noon on Fast Track News, more housing woes for Purdue students. Are you still trying to secure a place to rest your head next year? Plus, why a student organization says they need a physical space on campus to feel safe. Your local campus news, weather, and sports coming up in about an hour right here on the Purdue Channel. Or check us out on YouTube.
Welcome back. I'm Anna Kudo. A familiar face on the big screen says he was asked to run for president. Former wrestler and now big-time actor Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson says multiple parties asked him to run in 2022. The news came last Thursday during an episode of Trevor Noah's new podcast, What Now? Noah mentioned a 2021 poll that showed 46% of U.S. adults would support The Rock as a presidential candidate. The 51-year-old said he was blown away when he realized how enthusiastic some people were of him entering politics. The Rock didn't specify which political parties approached him and implied he has no intention of running right now. But Johnson told Noah, if that's ultimately what the people would want, then of course I would consider it. Today in entertainment news, everything old is new again. We've got previews of 2 new movies based on familiar projects and a new date for an award gala that was supposed to be last week. CNN's David Daniel has details in our Hollywood Minute.
For the first time in New York history, people froze to death in the middle of July.
What is it?
The Death Chill.
The first trailer is out for the next Ghostbusters movie, and we now have a title, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. The Spengler family returns to the old firehouse in New York and teams up with the original Ghostbusters to save the world from another ice age. Prepare to chill with Ghostbusters Frozen Empire when it opens in theaters March 29th.
Helen Working!
Helen Mirren has a new date for her latest honor. The American Cinematheque Awards, postponed from early November due to the SAG-AFTRA strike, are now set for February 15th. Mirren is to receive the 37th American Cinematheque Award for her contributions to the art of the moving picture.
What was that?
Oh Lord, it's the Queen Bee.
Regina George.
Don't look her in the eye!
You could be really hot if you change, everything.
The official trailer for the new Mean Girls movie has people talking about the lack of singing. It's a musical based on the Broadway show, but the only music in the trailer is Olivia Rodrigo's Get Him Back. No songs from the show itself. Mean Girls, the musical, really, we promise it's a musical, hits theaters January 12th. Making fetch happen in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
That's a wrap for this live edition of Fast Track News. I'm Anna Kudo. A quick programming note before we go. We won't have a newscast next week due to Thanksgiving break, but we'll be back on December 1st. From all of us here in the Fast Track studio, have a great weekend and Thanksgiving. See you next time.